Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something pretty wild. We are unlocking the gates to a highly secretive world where the 1% of the 1% literally hide from the rest of humanity. You know, when you achieve limitless wealth, buying a mega mansion or a massive super yacht, well, that's really just the starting line. The true ultimate status symbol for the world's absolute richest individuals is something far more exclusive and, frankly, far more isolated. We're talking about deep-sea sovereign fortresses that are completely cut off from the rest of the world.
And seeing these folks spend hundreds of millions of dollars to just completely erase themselves from society, well, it begs a rather chilling question, doesn't it? While most of the world is stressing over economic swings, pandemics, or global tensions, the ultra-rich are quietly building an entirely different reality for themselves. They're pouring massive money into risk management and disaster prep that, quite honestly, looks like pure science fiction to the rest of us.
So let's get into Section 1, the ultimate isolation, looking at islands and sovereignty. This is the new ultimate flex, purchasing an entire island from scratch to create a completely independent ecosystem. Because we aren't just talking about nice holiday resorts here. These are massive, highly engineered survival habitats.
Take Richard Branson's Necker Island in the British Virgin Islands, for example. He originally bought this place for a mere $180,000 back in the late 70s. Today, it's a $100 million eco-fortress. Now sure, it looks like a serene tropical escape, complete with exotic flamingos wandering around, but Branson actually built a state-of-the-art power grid and a massive underground bunker right beneath his main house. The whole thing is built to take a direct hit from a Category 5 hurricane, which means life inside just keeps ticking along perfectly, no matter what nature decides to throw at it.
Or how about Oracle founder Larry Ellison? I mean, why buy a small island when you can literally buy 98% of an entire Hawaiian island? Ellison dropped a staggering $300 million to buy Lanai. But he didn't just buy a vacation spot, he bought a living, breathing laboratory. He's since poured hundreds of millions into turning Lanai into this self-sustaining, high-tech utopia. We're talking automated hydroponic greenhouses that grow massive amounts of food without any soil. He is basically creating a completely independent, closed-loop ecosystem.
Then, over in the South Pacific, there's Laukala Island in Fiji, owned by the billionaire co-founder of Red Bull. Now, this place takes luxury survival to a totally extreme level. It costs up to $50,000 per night just to visit. And that's assuming you even get an invite. It's got its own private airport, a massive coconut plantation, and a whole fleet of private watercraft. Get this, they even have a custom deep-sea submarine worth over $4 million. This lets the elite travel completely undetected beneath the ocean waves, totally bypassing international airspace tracking.
All right, moving on to Section 2, invisible military-grade security. Because to the naked eye, these picturesque tropical paradises look perfectly peaceful, right? But scratch beneath the surface, and it is a completely different story.
The craziest, most expensive features of these islands are actually the things you cannot see. The coastlines are entirely rigged with high-tech military thermal cameras that are just continuously sweeping the jungle tree lines. They use long-range acoustic devices. These can literally deafen intruders on the spot. And underwater sonar networks that track any unauthorized diving equipment approaching the reef. And hey, you don't even have to go to the middle of the ocean to see this in action. Take Indian Creek Island in Miami, famously dubbed the Billionaire Bunker. It only has about 30 homes owned by tech moguls and celebrities, but it runs its own private, armed police force that patrols the one and only bridge entrance 24 hours a day.
But what truly separates these billionaire bunkers from your average luxury real estate is their absolute independence from public utilities. Think about it. If the global power grid completely fails tomorrow, the lights on these properties won't even flicker. They are 100% immune to continental infrastructure failures. We are talking sweeping fields of sleek solar panels, totally hidden wind turbines, and industrial-scale Tesla battery packs seamlessly integrated right into the jungle landscape. Plus, huge desalination plants that are quietly converting thousands of gallons of ocean water into crystal-clear drinking water every single hour.
Which brings us to Section 3, subterranean sanctuaries. Because, well, what happens when the threat is coming from the air or the sea? When a hurricane isn't the worst thing on the horizon? Simple. You go underground. And forget about those old-school concrete shelters stacked with canned beans.
There is a really stark dual reality to these islands. Up top, yeah, it's a 5-star resort with infinity pools and mahogany desks. But the real secret is what lies underneath. Carved directly into the volcanic or coral bedrock are deep, rock, solid concrete subterranean fortresses, and you aren't getting in through some flimsy wooden trapdoor. Access is guarded by military-grade biometrics, facial recognition, and massive steel blast doors designed to withstand a near-miss nuclear explosion.
To prevent the extreme psychological stress of living underground for months or maybe even years, billionaires are building spaces that actually mimic normal, everyday life. These are multi-story, sprawling complexes featuring crystal-clear indoor swimming pools, luxury movie theaters, and massive LED screens that act as artificial windows. They simulate real-time weather, a rising sun, and ocean waves. But make no mistake, survival is the main event here. They're equipped with multi-year food stockpiles, autonomous air filtration, military-grade satellite communication to completely bypass compromised global networks, and, incredibly, full-scale surgical rooms staffed entirely by autonomous medical robots. Just wild.
So where exactly are these fortresses popping up? Well, while companies like Vivos and Rising S Bunkers are busy converting old military silos out in Kansas and Germany, New Zealand has quickly become the absolute top destination for the global elite. Purchased through anonymous shell companies, massive plots of isolated land are holding these hidden, deep earth survival pods. For the ultra-rich, New Zealand's the ultimate escape plan, a remote island paradise far, far away from major global conflict zones.
All right, Section 4. Armored luxury escape plans. Because look, having a bunker on a remote island is great and all, but how on earth do you safely get there when a massive crisis suddenly hits? You need an absolutely airtight way to get from point A to point B while the rest of the world is in full-blown panic mode.
This takes an automated, highly seamless exit strategy designed to ensure the 1% are literally always one step ahead of global chaos. Every single major billionaire island out there is equipped with private runways, advanced helipads, and deep water docks. In the event of civil unrest, private jets are kept on standby at mainland airports, gassed up and ready to extract their owners within a matter of hours.
But the actual escape begins right there in the billionaire's garage. We're talking custom, matte black, armored luxury SUVs that look like aggressive stealth fighter jets. These things are loaded with advanced digital screens, glowing with thermal, night vision maps, biometric scanning interfaces, and ridiculously thick, multi-layered ballistic glass that can absorb massive impacts without shattering. So sparks might be flying off the reinforced steel body frame outside, but the passengers inside, completely untouched.
This brings us to our final stop, Section 5, the ultimate insurance policy. As we pull back the curtain on all this incredible infrastructure, we finally hit the core mechanism that makes this extreme isolation even possible, the staggering financial and legal maneuvering required to pull it off.
See, owning an island isn't just about physical security. It is heavily about legal security. A lot of these billionaires are purchasing islands in international jurisdictions, or they're forming incredibly complex legal agreements that basically grant them near-sovereign status. By registering these massive properties through shell corporations and tax havens, they create an impenetrable legal shield. It protects their wealth and assets from international courts, governments, you name it. In a world of tightening regulations, a private island represents the ultimate legal gray zone. It is quite literally a place where the owner gets to make up their own laws. Maintaining this kind of lifestyle, keeping the security matrix online, the hydroponics growing, the submarines polished, it costs millions of dollars every single month, even when the owners aren't even there. But for the global elite, that price tag, totally irrelevant. It's simply another investment. An investment in safety, an investment in absolute control, and an investment in the future. Which leaves us with one profound question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. If the people holding all the cards are preparing this hard for the end, what exactly do they know that the rest of us don't?